Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Demetra Lit all day. This is Lit Lane. We are slowly making our way back. Slowly. Who knows what this content is going to be? As I come back to Lit Lane, okay? Hey, good evening, Barbara Lowell, and good evening to everybody. It is Monday. It has been Monday all day, November the 10th. And believe it or not, in 2 days on Wednesday, I cannot believe it myself. I am about to be the mother of a 31-year old human being. Okay? I can't believe it. If this girl didn't keep telling me that she was 31, 30, I wouldn't believe it. Because how in the hell can my beautiful, so fine, so vivacious ass be the mother of a 31-year-old, beautiful, fine, vivacious woman? And then had the audacity to be a grandmother. And then got the audacity to have a child. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Good evening, everybody. I hope y'all had a wonderful day. Hey, Barbara Lowe. Hey, Daniel. Good to see you, Daniel. Daniel be doing this thing over there with the sports clip shot. I don't be knowing what's going on, but if I want to know, I know where to find out. Hey, Sincere of the Highlanders. Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Y'all, of course, know how to do. Hit the like. Um, I have been waiting and I have been anticipating coming on here talking about Natasha Daniels. Okay? Now y'all know I got my other channel, but it's not even I gotta work on Lit Lane before I work on anything else. Okay. Trial Watch with Demetra. I have to get back on that, but as y'all can see, I got my little attorney face on, my little attorney wig on my little thing right there. Because I want to talk about this murder trial of Natasha Daniels that's been going on and it ended last week down there in Tennessee. I just started watching the trial today. And no, I'm not going to watch the whole trial, but I do want, because of the talking points in this matter. Oh, Chanel, pretty eye girl, I was going to try to text you and say, come through now. Because the reason why I'm bringing this case to y'all right now is because it's so many talking points in this murder case. So many. Natasha Daniels was accused and then she got found guilty. Spoiler alert, it's on Court TV. Of murdering the pastor Brodus Perry, who was married to Tabitha. Now, Natasha Daniels, they coined and they named this, they nicknamed this trial the "You Broke My Heart" trial. Hey, Foot Soldier, hey, Winner, POP, hold me down. The "You Broke My Heart" trial. Needless to say, this pastor was having an affair with this woman who ended up taking his life. Now, me saying needless to say is ridiculous. All these pastors and stuff doing all this ridiculous shit and despicable things, right? But when I was listening to, let me show y'all the pictures of these folks, okay? Let me put a picture on here. Y'all know I don't have all the bells and whistles no more on my StreamYard. So we're going to just do it like this. Keep it simple. That's the way I started. Simple. Hey down from the Muppy. Hey VA says good to see y'all. Let me share this and show y'all a picture of the pastor and the woman who took his life. The woman mistress. Okay. Let me show y'all that so y'all can put a face to the story. How you do that? Share right here. Oh, you can share more than one thing now, huh? Okay, that's cool. Oh, but I can't. Okay, I gotta still stop that screen right there. Okay, oh yeah, let me see. Well, thank you, Muffy. I hope everybody had a wonderful day today. I had a productive day out there in them streets, child, door dashing all around West Belford. Hey, Rodney. Oh, Rodney, good to see you, honey. Let me see. Share screen. I know you talking about, oh, Demetri then came back friendly. Show have. I don't beef no more. Okay. I just got some. Let me why this here you go. Okay, I want to show y'all the picture of the woman who killed him and the man she killed. Okay, the pastor, the good old Rebbe Rev. Oh, y'all, when I was watching this today, I was so in my feelings. I was cussing. I was trying hard not to be judgmental, but I'm human, and it's just like I'm a my computer moving slow. That's because I ain't been using it again, and I moved my modem yesterday. Oh shit, dang, why is not pulling up? Oh Lord, I know Jill was having problems with StreamYard the other day. I heard somebody else saying something about the StreamYard. Come on now, cause I just Lord. Hold on, y'all. This not letting me be god doggone great. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me see if y'all see this. Okay, now she looking rough because it's her mug shot. You know, give us some grace about the little mug. Why it's not popping up? It's not letting me share the damn screen. Hmm, what's going on? Hold on, and let me pull it up and then it just disappeared. Hey, Naturally Butter. Hey, ZX. Oh, Lord. Hey, ZX. Good evening. I hope y'all had a great Monday. And hope y'all gearing up for an excellent week. I want everybody to have a good week. That's what I want for myself. Oh Lord, I might not just pull up this picture shit because it's giving me a hard time on this share thing. Oh my God. This gonna piss me off. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. If I'm not gonna be able to share, I'm not gonna be able to get this commentary because I want to hear what I heard and get y'all opinion. Yeah. Why I can't be great today? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, it look like it's trying to come up now. Okay. All right. So feast your eyes over there to the right hand corner with the man with the glasses and the woman in the mug shot. Okay. That's Pastor Brodus Perry. He has been unalive by the woman in the orange jail suit, Latasha Daniels, who he was having an affair with. Affair meaning he was married. Okay, married with a kid and everything. Preaching in the church, in the pulpit, doing marriage counseling. You know what I'm saying? Putting groups together. All that good old preacher man stuff, and then sitting there doing all type of carnal things, all type of sin things, all kind of despicable shit, right? That eventually got him unalive. Now, I want y'all to see how this man was carried on, and I want y'all to hear the opening statements of how they, what Latasha Daniels, what her reasoning is of why she should have some leniency or not get full life or why she the victim. Okay? This took me out. People try to excuse everything in the world, and Lord knows I am a sinner of most high. Okay? But at least when I do my sinning, I don't make no damn excuses and try to make it everybody else damn fault. And I sure don't try to act like I don't know what I'm doing. Anytime I messed with a man that was married, I knew the man was married. I knew I wasn't right. And God damn it, I didn't make no excuses for it. I thank God that God has delivered me from that. But check this out. This Tennessee verse, this is not going to be long. I just want to hear the opening statements was like 20 something minutes. And then the very first person they put on the stand that the state called was the wife, Tabitha. Okay? And Tabitha ended up getting shot too. But I'm going to save my little commentary. But y'all bear with me. Hey, OG Woo Chong. Oh, good, naturally. Same thing they've been doing for decades, unfortunately. Yeah, I make it easy to understand why people are so church hurt and so church shy and so church fearful. You know what I'm saying? How can you have much faith in an establishment when this the stuff that make it to the news? Even the little bitties of churches have some type of scandals going on. I think they need to hold these people to a higher standard, and when they get caught slipping, fire them. Just like you get fired off of any other job. Bump all that praying for them and counseling them.
Rose Perry was a pastor
Okay, hold on.
of a church.
Okay, so when Court TV started it, they missed like the first line, but we're getting started with the opening statements. It's not long at all, about 20 minutes for both parties, and then we get to the wife's testimony. But pay real close attention to this opening statement, okay? State first, of course. Thank y'all for joining the live reaction.
He was a husband, and he was a man who enjoyed life. He was 36 years old.
36 years old.
He wasn't perfect. He had flaws, much like a lot of people have flaws. In the fall of 2016, he was one of the pastors at a church in Little Rock. He knew the defendant through his role at that church. She was a member of the church, and I believe she was a leader of a life group in that church. She was going through a divorce or had recently divorced. They talked about that. A sexual relationship between the two of them began sometime around February of 2017. And you'll hear that relationship went on until sometime the end of 2018 or maybe even going into 2019.
I miss you too always. Hey.
Went on for several years. Toward the end of 2018, I believe it was around October, Mr. Perry and his wife took a job. Well, Mr. Perry took a job. He and his wife moved to Collierville in Shelby County because he took a job at Mississippi Boulevard Church here, also working as, I think, an executive pastor at that church. So not the senior pastor or the preaching pastor.
Yo, the weirdest thing just happened. I'm sitting here listening with y'all. The screen went out, and then StreamYard did a picture on my screen talking about StreamYard has landed on Mars. I swear to God. Has anybody else ever seen it? I promise to goodness, StreamYard just pushed me out the studio and then took me to the screen where you got to enter back in the studio. Before I did that, it said, StreamYard has landed on Mars. And with a big planet and a rocket ship. What the hell is that? Oh my God. I don't know what's going on. That is too funny. I don't know what that means. That was, I don't know. That was so weird. I don't know what that means. But I promise. Okay, that's what happened. That happened to you too? What the hell does that mean? Am I on Mars too? Oh my God. Okay. Oh, that was so random and different. Oh my God, that was weird.
Strange. He decided he didn't want to be in that relationship anymore. They lived away from each other. I don't know the reasons. that he decided that, but he did when they moved back here. On April the 4th of 2019, the defendant left Little Rock. She stopped at a gun store in Sherwood, Arkansas, where she purchased a Ruger 9mm handgun, and she purchased ammunition. And she drove the 2.5 or 3 hours from there to Carterville, Tennessee, where she showed up somewhere 9, 10 o'clock that night at Mr. and Miss Perry's residence. Mr. Perry wasn't there, but Miss Perry let her in. And they sat and talked for a while until Mr. Perry came. Miss Perry knew the defendant from when they were in the church together in Little Rock. In fact, the two of them played tennis once a week. Miss Perry considered herself to be friends with the defendant. And so when she showed up at the door, she let her in and they talked.
When knocked at the wife door.
The defendant waited there until Miss Perry got out.
So disrespectful.
They talked for a few minutes more, and she said, well, I'm going to leave. Don't want to bother y'all anymore. Mr. and Miss Perry were about to walk her out the door when the defendant pulled the 9mm handgun that she had purchased 3 or 4 hours earlier. And she shot Mr. Perry multiple times. The medical examiner will testify they pulled 5 bullets out of his body. She also shot Tabitha Perry as she was kneeling beside her husband, trying to get him to quit, trying to help him, and trying to get the defendant to quit shooting. She was still on the scene with the gun when the police department arrived.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking.
So why they going through this commercial? So they had an affair. So far we know the pastor had an affair with this lady for 2 years. He took another job at another church, moved to another place, and when he moved, that's when he tried to break it off with Latasha. That's the defendant. You know, he got the hell up out of Dodge and thought he was gonna be able to shake her loose. But apparently, wasn't going for none of that shit. She go get a gun in a place where she didn't have to wait no time because she can buy it that same day, drive 2-3 hours, and go to these people's house, knock at the husband, the wife door of the pastor that she been screwing for 2 years behind their back. She been playing tennis with the woman, doing church functions with the lady, the wife. And she carried her ass to their house, knock on the door like as though she's a friend. Go inside, have small talk with the woman sitting on her couch, waiting on her husband, the woman husband, and her, what she think in her mind, her man to get home. That's a lot of audacity and nerves, ain't it? Hey, Renee, good evening. Good to see you, girl. This is a trial. It just ended last week, so the trial is over, but I just started watching it today. And I'm not going to be showing the whole trial, but I wanted to show this part with the opening statement so you can know what's going on with the case. And then the first witness, which was the deceased pastor wife, because it's very interesting and a lot of good stuff to talk about. So Latasha Davis, unalived, Brodus Perry, the preacher, who she had been having an affair with for over 2 years. But wait till y'all, I know she got found guilty. I haven't looked at the sentencing yet. I just started watching the trial today, but just this little hour or so is so good. I mean, it gives so many good talking points that came up for me when I was listening to this. So you haven't missed much, Renee. This is the state doing his opening statement. He wrapping it up. You know, he couldn't too much talk about the man, the man who got unalive because he already know his character wasn't worth shit. So his opening statement real short, y'all. And good to see you, Emma. Oh, where's the volume? Yeah, I'm rusty.
Ruger 9mm that she purchased from the gun store in Sherwood, Arkansas. TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, analyzed those and those matched. You'll hear that the shell casings, 7, I believe, recovered from the apartment, were fired from the Ruger that she purchased from the gun store in Sherwood, Arkansas. There was a bullet recovered from the scene at the apartment that also was fired from the gun that she bought from the sporting goods store in Sherwood, Arkansas. You'll see video from the sporting goods store in Sherwood, Arkansas that shows the defendant going into the store, purchasing the ammunition and the gun, and leaving. You'll see the credit card that she purchased it with and the receipts where the last 4 of the credit card match, showing the date and the time that she purchased that handgun. She had all kinds of time to think about what she was doing. At the end of the proof, we're going to ask you to find her guilty as indicted in counts 1, 2, and 3 of the indictment. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I know one thing. I would want a more enthusiastic defense. I mean, he's for the state. Damn. Okay, let me be quiet. And I am going to interrupt or pause this because this is when my mind started blowing up when I heard this opening statement.
Latasha Daniels is a woman who has spent her life surrounded by men who hurt women. Not all of those were physically abusive. Some were emotionally abusive. But from a very young age, Latasha listened at night with her 2 little sisters
Hey, Sparkle.
as her father beat her mother. Her father was a minister in the church, well respected in the community. Seeing his daughter meant something in her town. She knew she could never tell anyone the truth about what happened behind closed doors. When Latasha was 17 years old in high school, she got pregnant. And her father mandated that she marry. So at 17 years old, she married a man named Rodney. She and Rodney were married for a while, and then he eventually strayed in the relationship. She caught him cheating on her, and she was devastated. And that was the first time that Latasha tried to commit suicide.
Living. P.O.P. Hold me down.
She felt like she had failed her marriage, kids, her father, her family, and that they would all be better off without her. She tried to take her life. The ongoing struggle with mental health would continue throughout Latasha's life. Her next marriage was to a man named Brian. Brian was not physically abusive. But very shortly after Latasha and Brian got married, he completely shut her out emotionally. When she would come home, she would sit in the parking lot or the driveway and cry. Because she knew when she walked into that house, a house that is supposed to be a home filled with love and filled with comfort and acceptance, she would get. Her husband would sit on the couch and watch TV and then sit on the couch. And that went on for 8 years. And at a certain point, Latasha found herself so starved for love and for attention that she sought out counseling. She tried to get her husband to go with her to marriage counseling, but he wouldn't. So Latasha decided that she needed spiritual guidance. She needed to know that if she was going to be getting divorced, that she could find that amends with God for another marriage. Now, Bruce Perry was an assistant pastor at St. Mark's Baptist Church in Little Rock, one of the biggest Baptist churches in Little Rock. He was one of the pastors that selected, among the thousands of church members, selected about 40 people to be life group leaders. Latasha was one of those people selected. And the group that she was in was one of about 7 or 8 people that Brodus Perry was directly over. And they had a very close, tight-knit
Hey,
group.
Lady Aries, I almost missed you coming
Brodus
in.
Perry
Thank y'all for joining.
took very particular interest in his group. And while Latasha was struggling, seeking this spiritual covering, she reached out to Pastor Perry because she trusted him. She felt like she could be safe talking to him. She did not seek him out for a relationship. They met, had a counseling session where Latasha poured her heart out to him for almost 2 hours in tears, talking about the complete emotional neglect, the lack of love, the lack of attention, and how it made her feel in the marriage that she was currently in. And Pastor Perry listened, but seemed distracted to Latasha. Several weeks had passed and she was still struggling with these feelings, and so she reached out for a second session. And when she talked to Pastor Perry at the beginning, she said, I appreciate you meeting with me, but I don't understand why when we met, you had your hands shoved in your jacket the whole time I was talking to you. Pastor Perry told her that he was doing that so that he could maintain his professionalism. As she was pouring her heart out to him, all he could do was think about sleeping with her. And when this counseling session started, within minutes, he grabbed her chair, pulled her to him, and began kissing her. And this woman who had been so starved for love and affection was finally receiving that. She did not seek it out, but she was receiving. And that session that was supposed to be counseling her through her divorce became the first time that Latasha Daniels and Brodus Perry had sex.
Pause. This is the moment right here that when I was in my car today listening to this, I just start going off. I just start going off the rail because it's so much wrong with this shit. Right? First of all, I'm all about girl power, women's empowerment, all that kind of stuff. I understand that people go through things, they have issues. I understand that your upbringing I definitely understand that your upbringing, your traumas and stuff like that can follow you through life and direct and play a big part in what you do, how you react. But when is the person accountable? This defense attorney just started off saying about the different problems she had with men, the different problems she had, in relationships and family. And then when she grew up and became an adult, the first husband, the second husband. So she got all these issues. She sure ain't give up on love. She got her ass right back in the saddle and married another damn man. She ain't that goddamn broken. She ain't that damn traumatized. She keep on trying for love. She go to the church. She been going. She getting counseling. The first time that man said that he had to keep his hands in his pockets to remain professional, meaning in order to not have his penis poke out or something because it's erect. When he said that, why she didn't say, "Oh, this the wrong church"? Oh no, I don't need no counseling from you. And so when this woman say the man pulled the woman's chair up closer to him, and that's the first time they had sex at this counseling visit, you mean to tell me this good church-going woman, I call her a good church-going woman because guess what? She a good church-going woman because she all up in the church. She joining the auxiliary groups. She not just coming on Sunday. She coming Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. She want to have a name in the bulletin. She doing all that good shit. And you mean to tell me they somewhere in the church in one of them rooms and things like that, and right there in the church where he counseling her and she supposed to be getting counseling, this woman want me to think that she not accountable, that she not wrong, she not a slut? You mean to tell me you let the pastor bend you over in the damn tabernacle? Come on now. That is so gross to me. And then I said to myself, I was thinking and talking to myself just like this. I was like, man, fuck that bitch. She's a slut and he's horrible. I was doing all that, y'all, because it just got in my spirit. Oh my God. And then I said, well, damn, Demetri, don't be judgmental. I'm going to be judgmental because when is she accountable? When is it take two to tango? Now, I'm not making no excuses for the good, no good reverend. Oh, he definitely a goddamn predator. He definitely was a predator. And then the state lawyer, one of the things he said that caught my attention this evening when I was on a review is that this man was only 36 years old. This pastor who got his ass killed behind his misdoings, got caught up in that shit, was only 36 years old. That means he was so arrogant, such a predator, such a sleazebag, right? That he hadn't even been in the ministry for too goddamn long. Most of the time that they try to wait a little bit, get established, you know what I'm saying? Get some good reputation behind them, build up their credibility. He started right out the gate as a young man, a young pastor, fucking all through the church. Disgusting. Let me read some of these comments before we continue. Let me see. And so that's why I said, are we really going to give her grace because of a hard upbringing and problems with men? Because her defense attorney want us to feel sorry for her because her daddy whipped her ass and because a couple of men, broke her heart. I didn't have my heart broken 1,000 goddamn times. That mean I can do anything I want and I can, girl, I'm not giving her nothing. Foot soldiers say, no, we're not. And then I thought about this. The pastor, okay, he definitely a predator. But does that mean Latasha with her good grown ass not accountable? Why she didn't get her ass up and walk out of that damn office when he pulled the chair close to her? She's so lonely and desperate for love, and even though she having problems with it, that she getting a divorce from her husband and had her heart broken a couple of times, that she need attention so much and so bad that it's okay for her to go ahead and sleep with somebody else's husband. Boy. Living my best life, OG. It's so good to see you, girl. We all have been through stuff. Absolutely. And it don't mean I had a right to go do people however I want and unalive them because I just can't deal with the problems I done created for myself. I'll be a mass murderer. If that's what I just went off of or how life done treated me, it give me the right to take out people accountable when she planned on getting that pew-pew like the lady with the diapers. Right. She made a conscious decision to bring her license and stuff up there to get the gun. She had all the 2-3 hours ride to go there. She had the time when she was sitting up in that woman's house right in the white face before the man got there. Yeah, she accountable. No problem, OG. Let me see. Because it was right, so to say, because it was the right church, exactly what she was looking for. She sure found what she was looking for. She wanted some love and affection. She found it. And then got mad and unalived the man when he wanted to call it off. What you thought you? Oh, wait till y'all. If y'all hadn't seen this trial and this short line we having now, wait till y'all see the story. I just want to catch up on the comments. Lady Aries say some people, when the patterns are not broken, keep thinking that the next one will be better, when in most cases it isn't. Just hoping that someone will love them. Very true. And I say this to y'all, and I say this not to brag or boast, but I'm saying it because I actually can pull back and draw from some of my previous experience in this life. You know what I'm saying? And dealing with men, dealing with married men, you know what I'm saying? All that type of shit. But man, I thank God that at least I can be accountable for shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's no accountability. Like somebody else made you make all these badass decisions. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else made you shoot the man, have an affair with the pastor, and look all in his wife's face. Look all to the other church people. They sitting there playing footsies under the table while having church meetings. That is so disgusting. Ugh. All of them wrong. Even the church secretary that know everything. Okay. Oh, you seen the trial already? Don't say nothing yet, naturally, buddy, because I'm going to let this woman say something, then we're going to talk about it, okay? Hey, HCX, sweetie, good to see you this evening. They charged her with capital murder. Not capital murder. I know it wasn't capital murder. It wasn't capital murder. But I just started watching it today, and we're not going to review the whole trial. The next time I come on with this, it's going to be to hear, because she actually testified. And so I'm going to come and play that part and then talk and just do the closing statements. Just real quick, like a couple of days content, because the trial ended last week. She was found guilty. Spoiler alert. Okay, y'all listen closely to what this woman finna say when she keep on giving the details, okay?
Immediately after that, Brodus Perry and Latasha started a relationship. But there were rules to be in a relationship with Brodus Perry. She immediately had to download the Confide app. Confide is similar to a Snapchat, where you open the message, you read it, and it disappears and it's gone forever. That was the only means of communication that she was allowed to have with him, through that app.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can.
I was typing it in, but that should let her know already that she wasn't special or the goddamn first. But as soon as she got into this relationship with this man, he already had established rules. He already had a way of communicating with his whores. Damn. All that would have said, well, damn, this not his first rodeo. Damn. So it's not like he just find me so special. Damn. So he obviously not a good man that just happened to be in love with me and just having a slip of the flesh. Nah, he a serial goddamn cheater. But no, she didn't wake up to none of that, huh? Or did she just not care? Didn't care.
Brodus Perry traveled with the church. Pastors sometimes had their trips. Church groups had their trips. Latasha was to go on those trips. She had to pay her own way. He could not have his credit card tied with her twice. She was expected to be there. And while they were on trips, they would stay together in a hotel room. If Latasha was inside the hotel room, she was required to be naked, no matter what. She was inside that hotel room. And if she had the audacity to put on clothing inside a hotel room, he would get angry with her. He went.
And I don't believe that shit either. I think that they trying to make it seem like the man doing all this stuff, like she had to be naked in the hotel room. She had to make him sound like he was more aggressive and things like that. You know what I'm saying? She was down with that freaky shit. What else you gonna do in a hotel room with somebody else's husband on a getaway trip? What you gonna have clothes on for? You gotta limit the time and opportunity. If he wants to talk and go out to date and go out to eat and shit, he can do that with his wife. Of course, he don't expect your ass to be up in there with no clothes on. They only came there for one thing: get naked. I'm supposed to feel sorry for her because she was butt booty naked up in there with the preacher's wife, husband, the preacher. Girl, boo. This bitch.
So far as to say, if we are ever together and I am suffering from a medical emergency, do not call 911. You call Pastor Pointer. He will get me help. You don't do it. You get as far away from me as you need to get for nobody to find out about this. By the end of their relationship, one of the rules was that Latasha was required to answer him with either yes, sir, or no, sir. Brodus had a lot of rules. Latasha had fallen so deeply in love with him after being so starved in her past relationship that she was willing to follow him. She was willing to do whatever he wanted her to do because he loved her. She loved him. There was a lot of guilt and a lot of shame around this relationship, though, because she knew that he was married. Now, she was in the process of a divorce, but she knew Tabitha. Brodus was interested in a unique lifestyle, something called ethical non-monogamy. Basically, what ethical...
All right, y'all. Please pay attention to what this lady fit to say of how this man introduced this affair and what he told himself to make it okay. Ethical non-monogamy. Did y'all hear that? Ethical non-monogamy. Let's continue. Oh, Lord, I hit the wrong button.
When I found you, I
button.
wasn't living. I was disappearing.
Uh-oh.
Now, she was in the process of a divorce, but she knew Tabitha. Brodus was interested in a unique lifestyle, something called ethical non-monogamy. Basically, what ethical non-monogamy teaches is that as long as everyone in the relationship is informed and honest, that even from a marriage, you can have extramarital relationships. Brodus told Latasha this is a lifestyle that he wanted, and that Tabitha would allow him to have it. She was willing to let him engage in this ethical non-monogamy. And Brodus told Latasha, you and Tabitha will be sister wives. You will live with us. We will have a life together. I just haven't told her, but I will. But I will. And so despite the shame and the guilt from this relationship, Latasha proceeded to be there.
Now, y'all listen closely. I'm gonna let y'all get shocked like I was shocked. So I'm gonna just say listen real closely. But so far, the man say that the wife Tabitha is okay and in agreement, and that in their marriage, that is accepted, ethical, non, what's the word, monogamy, and that the wife is okay with it. That's how they run their marriage, and that this woman gonna be a sister wife, but he hadn't talked to his wife yet about Latasha. Now this was in 2019. Seeking Sister Wife is on his what, 8th season? Polygamy is talked about more openly and shit like that now, more accepted in some places. So even if you listen to all that bullshit, it might be something that's actually happened. Okay, it's not unheard of no more. But you know what is unheard of? That you in an open relationship, you in a, all that type of shit, and then yet you don't tell your wife. So why she didn't go ask the wife? What would be the point of having an open marriage, but you don't tell the wife? It don't sound like it's too open, huh? It sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
As part of this ethical non-monogamy, Brodus had a chat group, and it all started around this book that is kind of the guidebook for ethical non-monogamy. The book is called The Ethical Slut. Brodus made Latasha read that book because it outlined what he was allowed to do. In the big group chats about this book, Brodus developed this kind of side chat that was with him and 2 other women, where they discussed their ethical non-monogamy. Hours and hours and hours, Brodus talked to them via video about how Tabitha was on board with his ethical non-monogamy. So much that when he said, okay, I want to do this, Tabitha said, you should do it with Latasha. She's your person. Let me talk to her. I'll break the ice. Tabitha selected Latasha, is what Brodus was telling the other women in this group. And that Tabitha was completely on board because he was being so honest and so open and so truthful with her, that he was so honest that not only could he have Latasha, he could have another woman too. He talked about these conversations that Tabitha would have with Latasha, the role that she played in their relationship. Hours and hours and hours. None of it's true. None of it. Tabitha had no idea that her husband was in this relationship for 2 years. Despite the fact that he was telling these women that she was completely on board and involved. And despite the fact that he was telling Latasha that she was on board with this lifestyle and that it would be okay. They would all be able to do this together. And so the relationship goes on. They take trips. Latasha buys some lavish gifts. They are happy. They see each other almost every day. They start drinking bourbon together. They start going to cigar lounges together. They start biking together. They join a biking group. They would run together. Full relationship. That Latasha thought Tabitha had sanctioned, even question your mind.
Nothing reveals more
So,
about
either
the real
Latasha want us to think that she's a real bimbo dummy or what? Is that what she want everybody to believe, that she's just an idiot? Is that what the defense is trying to tell us? Because I don't understand how Tasha is good in the question with her good grown ass. The fact that you in an open marriage and the wife didn't pick me, but yet we don't do nothing together. The wife never invited. Why the wife not, the women in that chat group listening to his lying ass, why they didn't say, if it's such an understanding and y'all living this lifestyle and you sitting here telling us about it, why she don't never hop on the live and talk to us about it? Why she don't jump on and give us a perspective from a woman's perspective? We would love to speak to your wife. Nobody asked them type of questions. Or maybe I'm just not understanding how simple some women can be. Maybe some women is that gullible, that naive, that dumb. You know, I just don't know. It's crazy to me, as y'all can tell. Oh, let me hit unmute.
Brodus Perry got offered a position at Mississippi Boulevard Baptist Church here in Memphis. It's a big church here in Memphis.
Oh no, the man is definitely a piece of trash, Tracy. I am, but the man dead. See, he got his due justice. He dead. His reputation in death is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And wait till y'all see this part with the man. That's when I'm gonna drag the dog shit out of him. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. You know,
prestigious church to be a pastor at here in Memphis. And Brodus talked to Latasha about whether he should accept this offer, and she said, yes, this is a huge opportunity, absolutely. She organized the going away party for him and Tabitha. After Brodus moved in October of 2018, he would come back to Little Rock. He still had his orthodontist in Little Rock, so he'd come back to get his braces tightened. And when he would come in town, he and Latasha would pick up where they left off. But things did start to change in the way Brodus was treating her. And around March the 15th, Brodus came in town and texted Latasha, I'm here at the hotel, come meet me. So she went. And on this day, she had the audacity to be wearing clothes when we walked in. Got very angry with her. And she apologized. And they proceeded to have sex. This was not a day that they made love. This is a day that he had sex with her. He was demeaning and degrading, borderline aggressive with her, which is something that he had never done before. Pulling her hair, shoving himself into her mouth, hurting her, slapping her. Nothing that she had ever experienced with him before. She felt so used and humiliated and broken by that experience with him, this man that she loved so much and had put so much of her life into, for him to treat her like a piece of trash. Broke her.
I dare you to let me build you a completely free.
I don't believe that bullshit either. Now, which one is it that she wants us to believe? that he was treating her like the love of his life and treating her with respect and everything, and this was the first time that he kind of manhandled her, how we gonna believe that when she already just said that the woman before this last time when he slapped his penis in the mouth real rough and everything, let her tell it and pulled her by the hair. She already said that they was going to hotel rooms. The man had rules. She couldn't put on no clothes. And that if she put on clothes while she was in the hotel, he would be angry. Don't that sound aggressive? And if he doing that, talk about don't put no clothes on, of course he's slamming his penis in your mouth and doing all kind of shit to you in the room. I think this woman told this white attorney all this shit to try to save face, and that she giving all this story in that court to try to save face with her peers and shit, even though she finna go do that time. This shit don't even make sense to me. And yes, Foot Soldier, that's why the name of this is called I've been waiting all day to talk about this with y'all. This got me, and this really touched me because I was just like, oh my God, the bullshit. It's just like, don't play with my intelligence. You know? They playing with my intelligence.
And that became the second time that she attempted to commit suicide. The next day, she came back to the hotel room with a gun. She told him, "You hurt me so bad. I want you to hurt like I hurt." And she wanted to kill herself in front of him so that he knew what it felt like to break because of somebody that you say that you love. He got the gun away from her, and they talked. Brodus always knew what to say to Latasha to get her to do what he wanted. So he did on this day. She did not kill herself. But she was still broken. They took some time apart, still talking on the phone, but not seeing each other in person. And on April the 4th, Latasha of 2019, Latasha opened her Confide app and saw a message from Brodus. It said something to the effect of, "Our time has come to an end." And it disappeared. He ended their 2-year relationship. There was supposed to be a life with a disappearing cat. And Natasha said, "I was right to want to die." And she found herself so deep down in that dark hole that God could not reach her.
Hey, Fedora, thank you for coming through. Good
She
to
didn't
see
think
you.
that she deserved for God to reach her. She didn't have a gun anymore because Brodus had taken hers. Around 3 o'clock that afternoon, she wrote a letter to her family and left it for them in her room. She told them goodbye. She told them that she was sorry. That she knows that they would be better without her. Her life would not. They would be better without her then. And around 4 o'clock that afternoon, she didn't even take her purse with her to that gun store. She took her license and a debit card. She went and bought a gun to aim on a magazine. She had chosen a place that was of significance to her to go and commit suicide. It was in Jacksonville, Arkansas, Johnson Park. And as she was driving down the interstate, she just kept thinking, if I could just see him, if I could just talk to him, he would understand. We can be okay again. This doesn't have to happen. I need to see him. one more time. Even if this is where this goes, I just need to see him one more time. And she looked up and saw the exit to Memphis. And she took it. She found herself in downtown Memphis, which is a place that she is not accustomed to. And she knew, because they were such regular communicators, she knew that on Thursday nights, Brodus would be at the cigar lounge. So she went to the cigar lounge. As she was walking up, Brodus walked out. She knows her rules. You do not approach him. She was not allowed to approach him because she didn't know if he was with somebody. He had to approach her so that she knew that she could talk to him. So she sees him and walks directly past him and waited for him to say, Latasha. When he did that, she came back and talked to him. And they talked for a while. She was telling him how heartbroken she was. And he said, it doesn't make any sense that my wife is okay with me having other women, but my girlfriend isn't. And she said, I'll be okay with it. You can do it. If that will fix it, I will do that. We'll give you that. And just like she had so many times in this relationship with him pressuring her to get a watcher or to have a threesome or to engage in this ethical non-monogamy, she gave in. Because she loved him so much that she was willing to do whatever she had to do to keep him. And he said, you haven't been willing to do that so far. She said, well, you haven't even told Tabitha about this. You know, how can I think that you're going to be honest with me when you haven't even told her? And so Berta said, fine. You want to tell her? We'll go tell her. Go to my apartment. Talk to her about tennis. Tell her you're in town for a convention. I've got to run an errand to Pastor Turner's house. I'll be there soon. You go tell her.
Oh, I missed that part earlier.
Yeah. Latasha said, no, you need to be the one to tell her.
I didn't hear that.
I'll be there. I'll go there. But we need to tell her together. And so Latasha went to their apartment where she had never been before. He gave her the address. He had actually given it to her before they even moved out of Little Rock. And so Latasha arrives at this apartment complex that she's never been to at night. She's not from here. She doesn't frequent Memphis. She doesn't know the difference between downtown Memphis and Carterville. She just knows it was dark outside. And she had to walk from her car to the apartment. And as she's sitting in her car, she starts having second thoughts. And she calls Brodus. Are you sure we should do this? I'm scared. But she had so much hope at this point.
I'm gonna have to see
She
Carl
thought
Records.
that things were finally falling into place. That they were finally going to tell Tabitha. They would finally.
And I want to know, sidebar, how she get all this weave and she in jail? Okay, that's what I want to know. How she got all this weave in her head and she in jail? Or maybe they gave her a wig before she gave in court. That was just a side note. Let's continue.
Finally be able to be openly and honestly together. And Brodus didn't answer. So Latasha went to the apartment.
Y'all, I think you was punishing me for not being a premium member anymore. I get 1 million damn commercials now.
Softly knocked on the door. Tabitha was inside and she heard something but ignored it. So a couple seconds later, a little bit louder. So Tabitha gets up and goes to investigate. see who's at her door. She looks through the peephole and doesn't see anything. Talking through the door, she says, you know I'm not going to open this door unless I can see you, right? And at that point, Latasha kind of put herself into the frame of the peephole. And Tabitha says, Latasha, is that you? She opens the door, gives Tasha a hug, invites her in. And they talk about tennis, and they talk about her being in town for a conference. And they sit in the living room and chat. Brodus comes home a little while later, walks in, and Tabitha texted him while she and Latasha were talking, and I've got a surprise for you. And so he walked in, and he just said, that wasn't the surprise I was expecting. And seemed very distant. So he sits, kind of makes some awkward conversation with Latasha, small talk, but he won't look at her. He will not acknowledge the elephant that Latasha knows is in the room. He offers her some bourbon. She says, sure. Tabitha said no because she had been drinking earlier in the day, so she didn't want any more. And Brodus poured himself some. And they chatted for a few more minutes, but Brodus really started completely ignoring Latasha there. And she saw the writing on the wall that this wasn't going to happen. He wasn't going to tell her. And so she said, you know what, I'm not going to keep going. But she wanted to talk to him. She wanted to find out why. She said, Brodus, walk in my car. Southern hospitality, you're the man. You know, will you walk me to my car? He said, no, Tabitha will walk you in. She said, no, be a gentleman, walk me to my car. And he said, no, Tabitha did it. So Tab got up, started walking out. She did not even understand the enormity of that moment behind her. When he wouldn't even walk outside and take a moment to talk to her. She put her hands in her pocket and she felt the gun that was in there as she was reaching for her keys. She did not think about what was happening. This was not what she came there to do. In that moment, she broke. And she did shoot Brodus Perry. While screaming, he broke my heart. And Tabitha ran to shield him and jumped in front of him. And that is when she got struck in the shoulder. And Tabitha said to her, Latasha, you shot me. And Latasha said, no, I didn't. She said, yes, you did. You shot me. And Latasha said, I didn't mean to shoot you. And Tabitha said, just go, leave. The police are on their way. Just go. Because Tabitha, when all this started, was already outside. She ran to the neighbor's house, knocked on the door and said, call 911, and then ran back in. Latasha had never threatened her, never tried to shoot her, nothing. This was a moment that broke between Latasha and Brodus. But it was not a moment of cool, calm judgment. It is not what that night was supposed to be. That night was supposed to be a start, not an end. But that night, she broke. And she slept without every expense. And it hurts her. She feels shame about what happened. To know that her hands open. This was not judgment and cold action. This was a break. It's everything. And when the police came, their guns drawn, yelling at her to put down the gun, she didn't even register them. Didn't respond to them. Tabitha said that she was bringing the gun to her head, towards her mouth, not even acknowledging the police. And in assessing the situation, police determined that they should use a non-lethal round. And they shot Latasha in the chest with that non-lethal round. She was thrown to the ground. Did not. The police did not choose to use their firearms. They chose to use a non-lethal round. They actually tried to use a non-lethal round first and the gun jammed. They ran down to their car and ran back up with another non-lethal round. No other shots were fired in the entire time. This was not what this night was supposed to be.
Oh, not a drop the. Wait. Did she drop the mic? Wait a minute. Was that a mic drop, bitch? Was that a mic drop? So I must have been dropping off an order or something because I was door dashing when I was listening. I missed the part where they said, where the part of the story was that after she went and found him at the cigar bar, that her story is that the man told her to go to the house and he'll meet her there, and then they're gonna talk to Tabitha. So I got a couple of questions, real quick. Just a couple of questions. Okay. My question would be this. You get there with this woman, you sit up in there for 15, 20 minutes, so disrespectful in this woman's house after you sleeping with the husband. Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you take that moment to find out for your goddamn self, hey, Tabitha, that's the wife's name, Tabitha. You know, we've been playing tennis and, you know, we was friends and everything. And, you know, I'm finally getting the opportunity to talk to you because of, you know, about this open marriage that you and Pastor got, you know, because I wasn't understanding how you can pick me to be his woman and why we never hang out. Why she didn't say nothing to the wife right then? The relationship was already hanging in the balance. The man was already trying to shake her ass loose. He gave her the address, let her tell it. Why didn't she say those things? And if she was so intended and so, you know, serious about unaliving herself, and this was a crime of passion that she didn't unalive the man she loved so much, and all that time that it took the cops to get there, and all that time that the cops had to go back, run down the stairs to go get another doggone taser or something, because the first one didn't work, why didn't she off herself? Not promoting that, but why didn't she do it? Got me, I'm over here confused. Ain't nothing this tramp saying, ain't none of this her defense and what she didn't told this damn attorney matching up. And what about the poor wife? The wife just don't know what the hell going on. She didn't let this tramp in her house. And even after she leaving and she hearing the gunshots, she go knock at the neighbor door. Guess what the wife did? The pastor wife did. She runs her ass back up in there while the woman's still up in there with the gun and throws herself over her husband to try to protect and save him. Ain't that some shit? Loving a man like that, being loyal and righteous with a man like that, and then only to turn around and have to hear all this bullshit. You think if this woman knew that this lady was having an affair with her husband, she would have let her in? You think if the wife knew that this bitch was having an affair with her husband, she would have ran back up in there and tried to throw her body over his cheating ass? Hey, Louie. Good to see you. She thought she did her big one. Oh, with the mic drop. Child, she already knew that. She already knew she was doing something wrong. I wouldn't open up that conversation with the wife without the man there. She probably felt like she needed backup. Well, that makes sense. Thank you, Lady Aries. Thank you. You know, that's well, I don't know if you incognito under that name or not. But I think you said the name. But girl, good to see you. Girl. Talk to Tabitha. We should have talked to her before they moved 3 hours away. She got the address from the church secretary that he was sleeping. Natural butter, you must know a church secretary somewhere that you ain't too fond of, baby. I'm glad you made it, Lou. You're not too late at all. Lady Era say she thought she was running in. They're covering her husband's body with the blood of Jesus. Funny, not funny. Right, and then she gets shot. And I think that's what really got me in my feelings, because y'all finna see what really got me in my feelings, right? If y'all thought I was excited before, hold on. Look who the first witness is, y'all. And then after this witness, I'm going to end the live. And I'm going to try not to break into it as much. I'm going to try. I can't make no promises, but this is a live reaction, so y'all know what time it is. The very first witness that they called to the stand, y'all.
I get asked a lot, why do you give away free undies? The answer might.
The wife is the very first person to testify. And I'm not gonna lie. Let me say this, so therefore I won't cut into her too much in the beginning. My heart went out to this woman. How you try to do the right things in life, try to be a good woman to a man, to be a good mother, be a good God-fearing woman, do all the right things, and your husband put you in a position, the most humiliating position, and he not even there to help or do shit. Just leave her here to have to face all this bullshit, to be shamed, embarrassed, questioned, hurt. Man, ain't no God was in that man. Let's go. I understand the wife, first witness.
There was an ethical non-monogamy group that Brodus was in, right? His book club.
Right. Too fast.
Apparently so.
Wait.
And did you know about the chat?
They're not showing her face, y'all. And there he go. He was 36 years old, young pastor.
All right, statement proceed.
Oh, the church secretary is messy as hell, huh?
Just stand right here, face the judge. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear affirm to tell the whole truth?
Okay, Tracy.
All right, let me have a seat.
Okay, let me be quiet.
Would you state your name, please? And can you spell that for the court reporter?
TAPATHAARCHIE.
And Miss Archie, did you know Brodus Perry? And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury how you knew him?
He's my husband.
And was he your husband?
Can I get you to speak up? Explain like you're trying to reach the bank door. Okay. She's recording everything, so we want to make sure we get everything you say.
When were y'all married?
2014, February 2014.
And were you married to him in April of 2019 when he died?
Yes.
How old was he at that time?
38.
I'm going to pass you something and ask you if you can identify it. Can you identify that?
Yeah, that's Brodus Perry.
Judge, that's that big mark. State's Exhibit 1, please.
No objection. I will show the photo of Brodus Perry as Exhibit 1.
May I publish that for the jury?
Yes.
Is that the photo you used to identify?
Yes.
When's the last time you talked to him?
April
Four.
4th, 2019.
2019. And that's the day he died.
Correct.
Were you there when that happened?
Yes.
Where were y'all living at the time?
Collinsville, Tennessee.
How long had y'all been in Shelby County?
Approximately 6 months.
Where were you before that?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
And what did Mr. Perry do as his occupation?
He was a pastor.
And is that what he did in Little Rock as well?
Yes.
Where was he at Little Rock? Where was he a pastor at?
St. Mark Baptist Church.
And do you know, is that a big church?
Yeah, it's a big church.
They have a lot of pastors.
Yes.
What was his role as a pastor there?
He was a pastor of assimilation. So his responsibility was basically new members as well as small groups.
Did he do any counseling or anything at that church?
No.
I want to take you specifically to April 4th of 2019. And that night, 9 or 10 o'clock at night, where were you?
I was home.
And was Brodus there with you?
No, it's not.
Did you have a visitor?
I did.
Was it an expected visitor or an unexpected visitor?
Unexpected.
Kind of tell me how that went.
I heard a knock at the door. So me and the dog went to the door. I didn't see anyone. Well, the people was covered. And so I thought it was Brody just playing around. So I'm like, I said something like, I'm not going to open the door if I can't see anyone. So I went and sat back down. And I heard a knock again. So I went back to the door and I peeked out the door and I saw like a lock, like swinging. And I was like, Tasha, is that you? And she, nodded, yeah. So I was like, okay, let me put the dog up. I went and put the dog up and then I came back and opened the door.
Okay. So you knew Latasha Daniels.
Yes.
Is she in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you point her out for us, please?
Right there.
What color shirt she wearing?
Blue.
Light blue or dark blue?
Light blue.
For the record, Judge, she's identified the defendant.
Will let the record reflect the defendant has been identified.
I put curing hepatitis C on my today list.
Epclusa treats all types of chronic hepatitis C.
How would you describe your relationship with the defendant?
Friendly.
Okay. You knew her, you may have said this, where did you know her from?
I knew her from church.
In Memphis or Little Rock?
In Little Rock.
Did y'all do other things together outside of church?
I would say from maybe July to October, we played tennis together like once a month. I went to a couple dance classes. I think she had a former client who taught dance. So I went to a couple dance classes, or my life group would go with her life group to a couple dance classes.
So it was somebody you knew from church, somebody you knew from some events at church, somebody you played tennis with occasionally. So you knew her fairly well. Would you say that?
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think when she just showed up? Did you have any idea she knew where you lived, or?
I knew that it was odd. I felt like it was odd, but I guess it was one of those things where, it's like, this is weird, but okay. I knew that before we left Little Rock, we gave a lot of people our address, a lot of people, keep in contact, give me your forwarding address, that type of thing. So I really didn't allow myself to really think past that. I just figured, we must have given her our address.
So it wouldn't have been unusual for somebody from the church in Little Rock to know where you were in Memphis.
Wouldn't be unusual.
Did you ask her what she was doing there?
Yeah, I asked her what she was doing there, and she said that she was in town for a conference.
So what y'all did after you welcomed her in, and what happened then?
I invited her in. We just sat on the couch and just kind of caught up. How are you? What's going on? How are the kids? you know, have you been playing tennis, stuff like that, just really small talk.
Did you notify Mr. Perry that she was there?
I texted him and I just, you know, gave like the big eyeballs and I was like, I either said weird or strange or something like that. But I didn't go into detail to tell him what was going on or that she was there.
Did you ask him to come home if he was available to come home?
No, because I knew he was already on the way home.
Okay, so you had, I guess, had a conversation with him by phone, text, or something, and so you had an idea he was coming home.
Yeah.
Right. How long do you think that she was there prior to Mr. Perry getting home? Approximately. I mean, it's not 5 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't know.
If I had to guess, I would say maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know.
And kind of describe what happened when Mr. Perry came in the door.
He came in and he's like, I thought there was a surprise here for me. This isn't a surprise. This is an unexpected guest. You know, real agitated.
Did he seem to know that she would be there?
No, he didn't give away to me that he thought she would be there. So he said that, and then he was, you know, telling me about, he had brought me some aminos or something and just regular small talk. And then he sat down and started basically grilling her about why she was there.
Okay. And how long did y'all continue to have conversation after that?
But it was
eat, drink, anything like that?
I think they may have had bourbon. I didn't have any. I think that I'm pretty sure he offered bourbon. Okay. Yeah.
How long would you say that she stayed?
After he got there, maybe another 10 minutes.
Okay. And what happened?
She said, well, I'm not going to keep you guys. I'm going to, head out or whatever. So we all got up to walk to the door and I led and she was behind me and he was behind her. And I walked to the door and I'm just giving this little spiel about not speeding in the area, just making small talk as we go to the door. I open the door and I go out. We're on the second floor. And I'm like right at the steps when I turn back and I'm like, okay, no one's behind me. And then I see her pull out her gun and start shooting.
Was she inside of the apartment or outside?
No, she was outside of the apartment and he was like standing in the doorway, like in the threshold.
Had she ever, since she got there,
Mm-hmm.
and you let her in, had she left the apartment to go back to her car or anything?
No.
So she had brought the gun in with her when she came into the apartment?
Yes.
So when she pulled the gun out, what happened next?
She started shooting. He hit the ground. And I started running toward him. And she told me, like, basically back off. So I stopped and I ran to the neighbor's door and I banged on the door, called 911. She went back into the apartment. So I went back into the apartment because I'm just trying to figure out what is going on. Like, why is this happening? So I'm, screaming naturally, why is this happening? What's happening? Why are you doing this?
Hey, it's me.
So do you think your neighbor called 911 at that point?
One of them did. Somebody called.
When you got back into the apartment, did the defendant still have the gun in her hand?
Yes.
And what was going on then?
I guess at that point, I'm basically pleading, like, what's happening? Why are you doing this? Please leave, and she's, kind of pacing a little bit, with the gun. At some point, the gun was reloaded.
So she fired until she ran out of bullets?
Mm-hmm.
Were you ever shot?
I was shot.
Tell me about that. When did that happen? Where were you?
Well, at some point I got on the ground and I can't remember if I got on the ground immediately, but I was on the ground and I was kind of hovering over him, kind of in my mind. I'm like, let me cover his head, so he doesn't get shot anymore. And, she was yelling at me to move and I wouldn't move. So I got shot.
Where'd you get shot?
In the shoulder.
Tell me about those injuries. Where and how were you treated? What have you had to deal with since being shot?
So it went into the shoulder, it broke this bone, and so at the emergency room, they decided that they wouldn't remove the bullet because, sorry,
No, take
they,
your time.
they felt like it wasn't going to move, so they just didn't remove it. But when I got to Jacksonville, I know that's home, Florida. I went back home, and they noticed that the bullet had started moving. So the first doctor I went to was like, "This bullet is too close to your lung, so you know it's going to have to go." And I went to it first. I went to the orthopedic doctor, then I went to another doctor, and they decided to just remove it. And by the time it was removed, it was coming out of my back. So the bullet had punctured the skin and was poking out of my back. So I had to have it surgically removed.
Oh my God.
So did that cause you a lot of pain the night you were shot?
Yes.
A lot of pain between being shot and having the bullet removed?
A lot of pain.
And then the surgery was also not comfortable, I'm guessing, as well.
Right. And then the shoulder is still broke on top of that. The bone here is, it was still broke the whole time. So there was the bone healing on top of the surgery and everything else.
Does it still cause you pain even today?
Sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, I'll get like a sharp pain.
There is we've talked about this sentence, but and I don't know, do you dispute the fact that Mr. Perry and the defendant were involved in a extramarital affair at the time this happened?
I don't now, no.
Prior to Mr. Perry's death, did you have any idea that the defendant and Mr. Perry were involved in any kind of an inappropriate relationship?
No.
Did Mr. Perry at any time have any conversation with you about he would like to have a relationship with Latasha Daniels?
No.
Did he at any time have a conversation with you about he wanted to have a relationship with anyone other than you, a sexual relationship with anyone other than you?
One time he told me about a book that he wanted me to read.
Right.
That was about the extent of it.
Is a marriage where you would agree to allow your spouse to have a sexual relationship with somebody else, anything that you would ever agree to?
No,
And by saying that, does that mean you never agreed to that with Mr. Perry?
I did not.
And you had no idea anything like that was going on?
I did not.
When you were on the ground trying to protect Mr. Perry, and I think you testified to this, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. Did you say that the defendant was telling you to move
Yes.
and you refused to move?
Yes.
And that's when you were shot?
Correct.
Okay, y'all. This is either gonna put sit down, and it's gonna be the cross examination. It's gonna get so good, y'all.
Yes, sir. May I have just a moment to get check situation?
Baby, on this cross question or whatever examination, they finna show some video clips and everything. Get ready to have y'all wig blown back. I had to come bring this to y'all. I wanted y'all to see the opening statements, to see, kind of get a feel for what was going on, and then listen to this wife testimony. Because at this point, y'all hear how I was so against this woman, the defendant, right? I'm calling all kind of sluts, tramps, dummies, all kind of shit, right? Of course, I'm against the old cheating ass, no good preacher, of course. But we don't get the preacher side of it. So in my mind, yeah, I know he a predator. Yeah, I know he ain't worth shit. But I'm also feeling like this woman making up all this shit to make herself look good, right? Baby, keep listening. And you might want to watch in a minute when they play the video. Yes, that's the wife Tabitha on the stand. She was the first witness. So that's her on the stand. And this woman right here, with this thick ass wig, that's the defendant who's on trial, Latasha. They're not showing the wife. They're not showing the wife's face, even though I had a picture of her, but I had a hard time trying to share that screen. So,
Ms. Archie, please, I apologize if I defer to Perry because that was what I've known you as. Please feel free to correct me, okay? I want to talk to you about some things regarding this case, okay? First, I want to talk about ethical non-monogamy. Okay? When you were on direct, you told Mr. McAlpin that there was a book he wanted you to read. That book was called The Ethical Slut.
I guess. I don't think I ever considered it enough to know the name, but I guess.
And that was something that he was interested in and brought to your attention.
Right. He told me about this book. Hey, I read this book. I think you should read it.
Did he tell you what it was about?
I think I've gathered what it was about. Yeah.
What did you gather it was about?
I gathered that it was about people who are in open marriages.
And is that something that you were interested in?
No.
Now, there was an ethical non-monogamy group that Brodus was in, right? His book club.
Right. Apparently so.
And did you know about the chat group that he had with 2 other women regarding that book?
Not at the time. This is something I learned about maybe 2 years after his death. I knew that he was in a book club. I didn't know what kind of book club it was. To know Brodus, to know is that he's very, very much a nerd. I would say after he died, I probably gave away 1,000 books. So to say I'm in a book club didn't seem out of the ordinary to me.
With the help of Xero accounting software, I've got the right information at my fingertips. So I can take.
So y'all know what the judge writing in her notes, right? The judge is writing, that bitch guilty and this bitch silly. Because I don't think the woman knew. I don't think the wife knew either. And I think she's being honest. But at this point, I think she's showing a little naivete. How you say it? Naiveness. You know what I'm saying? She acting a little naive too. If my husband wouldn't be able to hand me no book about no goddamn ethical slut and no open marriage, and I don't ask no questions. I would need to ask some questions. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Where you get this book from? You read this book? Why you want me to read this book? You into this? Is it something we should talk about? Not just take the book, look at the cover, see what it's about, read the back and shit, and just put it down. No, there would be some questions coming behind that. Like, wait a minute, where you getting this idea from? What's going on? Is what we got going on not enough? What you damn. And then that's what made me think too. When I was listening to it in the car today, I was like, well, damn, maybe these women and shit like this getting these situations where they feel like they're getting everything they want, the lifestyle, the recognition, where they just turn a blind eye. It wouldn't be the first time that I've heard of that. You know, it's been things in life I turned the blind eye to, but damn. Wait a minute. Somebody, wait. Lady Aries helping me. Naivete. Okay. Naivete. Now I can't even use it in a sentence again. What did I say? Wait a minute. Well, never mind. I can't remember how I was trying to use it, but now I know how to pronounce it. Thank you. Naivete. Thank you for the ebonics, girl. You know that's what helped me. All right, let's go back to it. It's on mute.
That he was talking to these women, right? Did you know that he was talking to people on that app?
I did know because I asked him, why are you always on this app? And he said, well, I'm in that book club. And instead of constantly typing back and forth, we just get on the video and chat about the books that we're reading.
And you saw him on there a lot.
Like, when you log on, you can see who else is on. So I'm like, why are you always on the app?
Did Brodus ever talk to you about bringing a watcher into your relationship?
No.
Did he ever talk to you about Ms. Daniels being a watcher in your relationship?
No.
Did he ever talk to you about wanting to have a girlfriend outside of having you as his wife?
No.
Did you select Ms. Daniels for Brodus to have a relationship?
No.
I'd like to show you some videos, okay? And it will be clips mostly.
Ooh, y'all.
And then I'm going to
Watch
ask you some
these
questions about
clips.
this.
Oh
So-
my goodness. Ooh, let me go check out that car. Willfully ignorant. Let me say, I would never. And Lady Aries, I tried to give her, I keep trying to have compassion because I understand that it is naive women. I know it's women who I know I've been desperate for love sometimes, but I didn't accept the different things I see myself. Right? But in the moment, I don't have the right to go just do whatever I want and hurt whoever I want. And I don't make no. Now look at Urkel. This the unalive pastor, y'all. And this is him talking in them video chats with his book club child, with the women he was trying to groom to be his other hoe.
Well, I am at a place now where I want to expand this ethical non-monogamy, and I'm just, your opinion matters to me because we are in this relationship. But at the same time, like I said from the outset, I want to be respectful, but I also want to let you know that, your opinion matters. But at the same time, I don't want you to put me in a box, right? Because while we talk about it in theory, this is now the practice part. And with a tab being perfectly fine with, the situation, because how I've handled and been honest and transparent and open with her with regard to this current relationship, me expanding it is not an issue for me. Basically, she told me, hey, we can talk about it when you think it's worth talking about. But the way that you handle this, I'm fine with not trust your judgment because you haven't given me a reason not to. But
Look at his old fat ass.
Talking about
Shut up, fat face.
And you being perfectly on board with it. Was that true?
No.
Did you believe that Brodus was being open and transparent and honest with you about his relationship with Latasha?
What relationship?
Living say this shows how bold he was to do all this and not be worried about his wife finding out. Not just the wife. What about the congregation? What about his bosses, the head preachers? He doing all this. He having a whole affair for 2 years and literally grooming these hoes. And then already, if he doing all this, he had to have a couple of more women or had a couple of more indiscretions in that church. Nothing but pure arrogance. Arrogance.
He wasn't being open with you about his relationship with Latasha, right? That there was a relationship.
Right.
He was not transparent about that.
There was nothing. To my knowledge, there was no relationship.
And you never said because he was so open and honest and transparent with you with his relationship with Latasha that you were okay with him then adding another girlfriend.
No.
That didn't ever happen.
No.
agree naturally, but guess what? That's probably why you got to remember, that after them, if you go a while, nobody might know. You might be able to keep some of the secret for a little while, right? But then people get to talking and shit. That's probably why he switched churches and moved out of the city before that shit became, a lot of times from what I heard is that when these church scandals be happening and stuff like that, instead of just firing them and, just letting it all out there and making the whole church look bad, they'll just go ahead and just try to get rid of you and sweep it under the rug. You know what I'm saying? And just say, oh, he transferred or he got a better opportunity somewhere else instead of just making it a whole scandal. Oh yeah, but people knew, people had to know if the head preacher knew. But remember, he had moved to another church, into another state. Oh, hold on. What about you?
And photos aren't an issue at home, but I get it, but it ain't an issue. For me, our agreements have been simple, right? No exes, nobody from Jacksonville, Florida, which is home for us, and nobody in the city that you live in, that currently live in, which means you might have Memphis. That was the case, of course, in Little Rock outside of Girlfriend, because Girlfriend is in Little Rock. The way that kind of happened is, short version, when she decided to open up the marriage and allow me to be open, it's not her. Girlfriend is a therapist, right? And she didn't go to her for therapy, but she asked us some questions. And based on this therapy session she had with this other lady. And she was asking her some questions after she had just said, bro, is this what I'm gonna let you do? Blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. From there, she asked her some questions. And so she was like, I got a couple questions for you. And, they would go play tennis together. She was one of the life group leaders. And so we had rapport. We had rapport. And she asked a question and was like, yeah, blase, I'm thinking about this. And what do you think about this? Or what do you think X, Y, and Z could potentially become? And I'm sorry, I'm looking to see who's in the cigar lounge because this is not what I really frequent there. So I'm kind of careful about who potentially is in here because I don't want the glass all past them. I really want to go in and go shield in the back, but I'm not a member. But yeah, I'm trying to make go in here now. But anyway, so the next thing that she shared with her was, you know my husband like you, right? What do you think she'll try? And she was like, what? He's like, yeah, I know what he likes. And he thinks she'll try. Not that he's been rude or anything like that. We've had conversations. Well, we did. Because one time we was sitting around having a watch. And she asked me, I was like, well, you got to get her. I ain't going to get it. I'm coming across this creepy guy, right? We're trying to spice things up. In that regard, even though that was even somewhat limited with the idea of somebody watching them, that's neither here nor there. But when the question came,
Just to pause it for a minute. In your relationship with brothers, did you make those rules up? No. So that was not true.
Not true.
Were you the one who initiated the conversation about Natasha? Yeah. Did you ever reach out to?
Oh, gee, he wasn't even sneaking, and he building up all this other stuff. Yeah. Hold on, let me push pause. And that's the first time I heard that he said that. So I think y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he just say that his wife Tabitha, when he married her, she was a virgin? Right. So I wonder if that's the type of shit and the type of excuse that he would use to excuse his behavior or her being a virgin or her not being as experienced as he is or her not being as yeah, experienced and open and you know what I'm saying, is why he has these desires and why he feels the need to do these things. You know, it seemed like the type of thing that if he was caught, if his wife would have caught him cheating and doing all this shit, it seemed like he the type of man that would say, well, the only reason I'm doing this is because you don't know how to please me. You don't know how to, it's just so, you know, I can't do this. It's all your fault. You know, it seemed like he that type of despicable ass man. You know what I'm saying? Ugh. He is just, this is like unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable.
Did he ever talk to you about wanting a watcher, as he described here?
No.
Did you ever agree to having a watcher, as he discussed here?
No.
It was her, right there. She asked, who would you want? And that was the first thing I said. She's like, I know you like her. I know her. So anyway, so she said he liked you, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, if you were interested, just, now I'm not saying that you are, but I'll also say I've given him this X, Y, Z, and he may come your way. And she did. And she's like, okay, cool. So we had a conversation. And after that, that's when the whole nobody in the city thing came. It was more like, I'll give you a pass with her because I essentially gave you the alley. But nobody, you know, nobody. So I'm trying to figure this. So fast forward, I said a whole lot of shit, right? Trying to get to it. So I've been thinking about the past couple of weeks in terms of expanding, you know, my ethical non-monogamy. Just kind of, so, you know, her and I were chatting the other day. I was like, well, babe, I got a couple of questions. I'm just curious, you know. She knows about the, you know, everything like that. So I was like, what do you think you want to?
Just to ask a couple questions real quick. Did you ever have that conversation that he talks about with Latasha?
No.
Did you ever have that conversation that he talks about with him?
No.
Did you ever give him the XYZ that he was talking about?
No.
Did you ever give him a pass for Latasha?
No.
Did he ever talk to you about further expanding ethical monogamy in your relationship?
No.
No. You know, like, when do you want to know that there's someone who has my interests or someone who I would like to pursue? Do you want to know the moment that I feel like it's more than just banter? Do you want to know at the moment that I would like to begin to banter? Do you want to know once I feel like it might be a thing beyond banter? Or what? You know, because this is kind of new for us, right? Because, you know, girlfriend, Tasha, that's easy. That's been 2 years. That's been it for the most part. Outside of me going, and that's out of my birthday. But it's kind of been easy in that regard. So you're trying to figure out what does that look like. So it's kind of really thinking through where I am with that, right? You know, where in terms of those. So there's a lot of newness. And I said that just to say that there's still a lot of newness even in this ethical non-monogamy that I'm wrestling with. And it's fun, right? It's fun. It's interesting. It's causing us to communicate and chat and really talk again about different things that we've kind of, in a real sense, have been settled to some degree. But realizing that in this ethical non-monogamy, we got to keep things in pencil and not pen. You know, some things are in pencil pen, right? There's some hard news, but it got to be flexible in terms of what that looks like. So that's why I know you about being sprung and giddy and all that stuff. I think because that those flutters or those emotions, right, or those initial thoughts are all kind of new and very much new because this person is brand new. Like, I don't know Sheree, right? I knew Tasha. That was different. There was some level of familiarity there. And that's typically how I've always engaged women, right? With some level of familiarity. I cannot, whether being in the same class again in terms of college or something like that, I've never kind of quote unquote cold called anyone. You know, if that makes sense. Because I'm not, I don't think I'm that guy. So, yeah. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I don't know if I'm gonna go in here. Now I'm thinking how far would we need to go downtown? Because I'm like, there's a lot of folk in there. I don't know if I trust who's in that room right now. Shit. I just need to do better with smoking houses, cigar houses.
Last year, when I made that call,
now he think he that guy, but he do think he the shit. You know, like really, he likes people to listen to him. He likes to hear himself talk. That's obvious. And that's a really good catch you made right there with who was that OG Wu Child say he used that book as a temperature check. And as soon as you type that in, I say, you know what? That's you sure right, because that's probably how he found these women on Facebook or wherever to be in his group. You type in the ethical slut and find out who else into that topic, and boom, you already got you a couple of women who some ethical sluts or some sluts who want to become more ethical. You know what I'm saying? So they down with the program. And then he feeding all this bullshit about the wife and how the wife okayed it and like all that stuff is to make them more comfortable, because the book saying the non-ethical, what it's called, what he say, what it is, not the ethical non-monogamy. You know, that's supposed to be with both of the people in the marriage is okay with it. If these women, he can't tell these women, okay, I just want to date other women, because they're not into that. They want to be some ethical sluts. He trying to just slut them out wholeheartedly. And how manipulative is that? I mean, it ain't nothing righteous about this man, right? Damn. He don't have no care or consideration for nobody. So you mean to tell me you're going to try to get these other women involved in a whole goddamn affair with you, to have them sinning against what they think is right or wrong, have them doing something? You know what I'm saying? It's just, This whole situation, it really pissed me off today. It really, really did. And I just kept thinking about this woman got to sit here and answer these questions to this woman and be embarrassed with her husband. And then the defendant then took him off the planet, unalived him. So she didn't even get the benefit to talk to her husband, to address her husband, to deal with this bullshit. However, she wanted to deal with it once she found out who he really was. A bunch of selfish ass people. You know what I'm saying? The husband selfish, the mistress selfish. And just leave the wife out there.
Conversation with you about when he needed to tell you if he was wanting to banter with someone, or when it would go past banter with someone. No, that never happened. No. Did he ever? Did you hear him reference going out of town on his birthday?
I thought I heard that.
Did he ever tell you about a threesome out of town on his birthday?
No.
Did you hear him mention the name Cherie?
I did hear that.
Do you know who Cherie is?
I don't believe so.
Did y'all ever talk about how ethical non-monogamy could make your relationship better?
No.
None of that ever happened?
No.
Alma Bear and Brother Advice at this point, and I know that you won't hear Michelle probably doing something else, but so I want to talk to y'all about my new friend, right? The one who I keep everybody to the curb for. So she hit me today with a boss moves and asked that I want to hook up next week. And after she gets back from being out of town, that threw me the fuck off. Like, wow. Like, so she gets back on Friday. She was like, hey, we're hitting on Friday and Saturday. My only concern is that she is waiting a callback for an interview for a process. And she said it may be next Saturday, right? And I know that she would leave, of course, for that. And even if I'm going to Atlanta, she's about 100 miles away, she would ditch me, right? Like I would force her to say, go and ditch me, right? But I just don't know. I want to put myself in a situation where potentially we may not be able to hang out in that regard because she got this other stuff that she worried about. But I am like high key shocked and like super like blushed about it because like it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like we was talking about other stuff and it was like, hey, what about like, oh, okay, I'm with you. You wasn't expecting to see that while I was in my speech contest. I was just a counter, so it don't matter. I went doing that, but I don't know what to do. I think a couple of things, right? So I live in this other tension. So that means furthering the conversation, right, with the wife, which she's in a good place about that. I think I talked to you about it, and you haven't updated Shell about it, just in terms of girlfriend who's not taking it as well, I guess. But at the end of the day, I told her, you got to recognize this is about me, this is about you, and it doesn't make sense for my wife to allow me to be open with my girlfriend has an issue. Like, so she's kind of chewing that because I think in theory we've talked about this day coming, right? But it's never been a reality, right? So I think that she's wrestling with the reality. I think that your ideas, your thoughts yesterday was so, like, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I never thought about it like that. But that makes so much sense. And it's not that I want to be disrespectful. It's not that I don't want to be ethical, but I do wrestle with that. And I just kind of talking to your perspective about what you saw. But I was like, I think that could be what this is in terms of treating this like an infidelity kind of relationship on purpose with permission versus an additional partner scenario. So I feel that. But y'all, she asked me to hook up with her.
He is such a liar.
You sell it, we ship it.
So, it just, when you hear this brought to my mind so many different things: marriage, infidelity, the church, these pastors, all these, being too desperate to be loved, unaccountability, inaccountable, whatever, however you say that, non-accountability, whatever, child. Not being accountable. There's a lot of issues in this shit. And that, it's a womanizer, pathological liar, sex addict. And then that's why when people say people are church hurt and stuff like that, you can't just sweep that shit under the rug. It's too much stuff like this just going on and being so secretive and shit. And here this man, the young man, preaching for God, meeting the new members and stuff, and doing all this. Ugh. No preachers ain't perfect. But damn, what is the standard? And what do they do with these people when they find out what they're doing? Why they don't blast them? Why they don't fire them? Why they don't shame them and kick them out? Why they just, hustle them off to another church or just get them some counseling? No. Get them out the pulpit. Get them away from other victims. It's just like, when these pastors and stuff do this type of shit, they should be treated just like child predators, right? Because guess what? When you over a whole flock of people, when you over a whole congregation with people coming up in there very vulnerable, very, very vulnerable. When you find out one of the damn leaders is a predator, ain't it the church's responsibility to remove their asses? And not just remove them, let everybody know. They ought to be on a goddamn registry somewhere. Because guess what's just as vulnerable as children? People trying to find a spiritual damn direction. Ugh. And here I am supposed to be looking for me another church. And I'm watching this shit saying, Lord, let me just, even... Oh, I hate this. I hate it for them. It's almost over. After this her testimony, this cross-examination is not no recross. Then I'm gonna end it. Read the comments and then I'm gonna end it.
Transparent about that.
Let me rewind it a little bit. because she was talking.
But that made so much sense. And it's not that I want to be disrespectful. It's not that I don't want to be ethical, but I do wrestle with that. And I just kind of talking to your perspective about what you saw. But I was like, I think that could be what this is in terms of treating this like an infidelity kind of relationship on purpose with permission versus an additional partner scenario. So I feel that. But y'all, she asked me to hook up with
Did Brodus ever talk to you about engaging with a woman in Atlanta? Yeah. Was he open and honest and transparent about that? No.
Wait a minute. For real, Tracy?
Did he?
Let me put a star by that so we can come back to this.
Or did you tell him that you were open to him doing that? No. Had y'all been talking about that day coming where he would further expand to another girlfriend?
I wonder who they got the videos from. Did they get these videos from the women that was in the group? You know what I'm saying? I wonder. We'll see.
close. We're close. We were in Little Rock. She lives in Little Rock, so we're in Memphis now. I mean, it's only 2 hours away, but yes, we were in Little Rock. So we were literally that because it was at that point. Wife was like, "Yeah, nobody at home. Like this is an exception because I kind of threw you that, but no, you ain't dealing with nobody at home. Like that was Jacksonville. So our heart knows that no Jacksonville, which is hometown for us, no exes, and no place in your current city. Those are the hard no's, right? She got an exception because it was there that she realized, I don't think I want him to be dealing with all these people, all these women, and no doubt these women would be in the church because that's all we do is kind of hang around, or in the community or close enough. So it was kind of one of those things.
Not limit.
Was Latasha Daniels an exception to your rules? No. Did you create rules about Jacksonville? No. Did you create rules about exes? No. Did you create rules about the city that you live in? No. Were those hard no's for you? No. Was any extramarital affair a hard no for you?
They were all hard no's for me.
How often would you check Zero in a day if it could reduce your admin time to less than 45 minutes? Before
Before I can say a word, she hits me with, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "Sorry for what?" So then she goes into the whole, "I apologize for breaching your trust, breaching your confidence by telling my boss, my former boss before, about the situation." Her reasoning was that she felt like if, like you all said, if he could appeal to my quote unquote greater senses, that I would realize the mistake that I would be making by losing such a wonderful woman. She also apologized. I said that she apologized to Tabitha when Tabitha talked. She told me that Tabitha told her that their conversation was their conversation until she revealed it, so she was not going to talk about the contents with which what they discussed.
Look how he just be in
She
Florida.
basically said, I feel like I know what you're going to tell me. And at this
Who is P?
He is our friend and former pastor.
Is that Philip Pointer?
Hey, dog, baby, welcome to the chat. Now, look, so now we finding out, or well, we already heard once that he already told the mistress, right, that don't call nobody, but if it was emergency, to call Pete, the preacher man, right? That was one time. Now again, we finding out again, not from him on this video, but out of the wife's testimony, that the preacher at the church, you know what I'm saying, also knew about this shit. I sure hope they get his raggedy ass on the stand too. Okay? I'm going to look up these people and get their pictures. Because this is going to be a couple of days of commentary. Not that, you know, what we said over at Trial Watch with Demetra, this is my first time doing only the good parts. This is my first Trial Watch, only the good parts, okay? So I'll bring just the good ones. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to hear from the cops and hear about the guns and shit like that. We already know she got the gun. We already know she bought the gun. It was her bullets. We don't got to watch all the testimony about that shit. Okay, hold on.
And he was also a pastor at St. Mark's.
Correct.
Did you know that?
Oh, let me say this too, because YouTube is being very, very, very finicky because they blocked my comment where I said, "Great catch, OG girl. I missed that due to steadily cussing his fat-headed butt out. I was so busy being disgusted with him, I wasn't even paying attention to his little zesty ass mannerisms. But a lot of times when they be DL like that or in denial, that do make them, you know, be womanizers and have them doing just too much to prove their masculinity and too much, you know what I'm saying? Never satisfied because they're not getting what they really want. You know, he do have a lot of them mannerisms and stuff like that. Let's see.
Pastor Pointer.
But you know, a lot of them
knew
church
about
boys
the
be
relationship
having them
with
feminine
them.
mannerisms anyway.
Did Latasha reach out and apologize to you after she threatened to commit suicide?
No.
Did you ever have a conversation with her about that?
No.
Throughout all of those videos, it's very convincing talking about those things. Would you agree?
I would agree.
And none of it was true.
No.
Hello, what you making? The world's yours for the taking.
I want to talk to you about your relationship with Bruce, okay? Y'all were married for about 5 years. How long did you date?
She's still in mourning. She's all black. Or this
You were
going back
second
into
wife.
mourning.
Correct.
And at no point during your relationship, with you at least, did he discuss this Watchers or non-monogamy?
So it looks like she remarried, huh? That's her wedding ring now, huh? Another
Bruce
wedding
was a
ring.
pastor
Correct.
in Little Rock that was at St. Mark's. So that's a big church.
Yes.
Did he take trips with the church?
Yes.
Often?
When you say trips, like international trips or?
Both international and local. Israel,
Yeah,
Savannah, El Dorado. Did he take those with the other pastors?
Sometimes.
And he also took them sometimes with other church members, like the church groups.
I can recall one time, maybe a time or two, where there was like a training conference or something like that.
So they did, the whole church group was for Israel, right?
Correct.
Okay. And when he got the job at Mississippi Boulevard, that's a big deal to be a pastor there, right? It's a big church here.
It's a big church.
And now I'm direct. I thought you had said that he didn't ever do counseling for
St. Mark.
at St. Mark's, but I thought you told the police that he sometimes did. You just didn't know that he counseled Latasha.
I've never known him to do counseling.
Did he ever tell you that he counseled Latasha?
No,
But you knew that she ended up getting divorced.
I did know that.
Now I want to talk to you about Latasha, okay?
Okay.
You knew her from church, and that was St. Mark's in Little Rock.
Correct.
She was a life group leader.
Yes.
What's a life group leader?
It's a person that leads a group of people that get together and do Bible study.
And that was a group that Brodus was over, right?
Correct.
And before his relationship with Latasha started, this was a tight-knit group, right?
Another example
He
of
was
a
very
couple
involved
who
with that.
praying over.
Yes.
You don't
And it
know
was about
what they
7
got
or 8
going on in
people.
their head.
In that
Here
group,
it
there
is.
were
Oh.
probably 6 or 7 groups. Yeah.
But in that particular, the group that Latasha was in,
Yeah.
a couple of people.
Mhm.
And those groups were selected from the whole church membership, right?
Based on who showed interest. It wasn't like people came and showed interest. Yeah,
There's thousands of church members at St. Mark's.
sure.
And I think, what about 40 or 50 people were selected to be life group leaders?
I guess. I don't know for sure.
And that's okay if you don't know. And you and Latasha were fairly friendly.
Yeah.
You played tennis once a month for a couple
Once a
months.
week. Mhm.
And then at some point, after Brodus got the job at Mississippi Boulevard, y'all moved from Little Rock to Memphis.
Correct.
And at no point were you aware of their relationship.
No.
Were you aware of any issues that Brodus had had at St. Mark's?
No.
Okay, I'm trying to let it play so we can finish, but I wanted to stop it right there because somebody asked the question earlier about what happened, why he changed churches. And I said that it's going to come up a little bit later, where it's kind of an indication that might come out. We might find out later what happened, because this woman just asked the wife, well, were you aware of what happened, or whatever she just said? Y'all heard that, right? So something else happened in that church. Okay, now naturally think he didn't got the church secretary pregnant. We're going to have to wait and see. But how in the hell something going to happen at that church of a salacious type of manner and the wife don't find out? You know what I'm saying? That's too much sweeping stuff under the rug. People just don't give a damn about people no more, huh?
Y'all moved in October.
Correct.
And that was to Carnival.
Correct.
Before y'all left, you gave your friends, church members, your new address.
Yes.
And there was a party that was thrown for y'all, right?
I think so, yeah.
Did you know that Latasha organized that party?
It wouldn't surprise me to know that.
After you left Little Rock and moved to Memphis, you didn't see Latasha again until April 4th, right?
Right.
And as far as you knew, neither did Brodus.
Correct.
But Brodus would come back to Memphis for his braces.
Right.
Why would he come back to Little Rock from Memphis to get his braces done?
Because the braces were paid for, but the work wasn't done in his mouth. So it just made sense to continue seeing that orthodontist.
And so Brodus would go to Little Rock, but you would stay in Memphis. Now I want to talk to you specifically about April 4th, okay? Now you were at home that night. You were watching TV.
Right.
Just you and your dog, Anakin. Yes. And around 9 or 9:30, you heard a noise, a faint knock.
Correct.
Ignored it.
Yep.
And then a couple of seconds, minutes later, you heard another slightly louder knock.
Yeah.
And you and Anakin, the dog, got up to go see what was going on.
Correct.
A third knock, or after you said, I'm not going to open this door if I don't see who it is,
Yeah.
you saw Latasha through the people,
Yes.
recognized it was her,
Yes.
invited her in.
Yes.
She wasn't threatening you.
No.
She did not have her gun out pointed at you.
No.
You brought her into the house, right? And y'all sat in the living room.
Right.
Talked. Right?
Yes.
Talked about tennis.
Yes.
talked about a work conference, right?
Yeah.
And just chatted.
Yeah.
She seemed happy to be there.
Yeah.
She seemed happy to be talking to you.
Yeah.
At no point while y'all were sitting alone in the apartment was she threatening to you.
No.
She never tried to harm you.
No.
And she was seated, if I'm not mistaken, on a couch, right? Actually. You're under mad privilege. Tabitha, do you recognize that?
Yes.
What is that?
That's my apartment in Collierville.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that be made the next numbered exhibit.
Any objection?
It's the living room.
Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. All right, we'll show the photo of the living room as exhibit 2.
How do I turn this on? Your Honor, if I may publish this to the jury.
Yes.
Tabitha, is this a picture of the living room at your apartment?
Yes.
Where were you seated speaking to Latasha?
I would have been seated on the left end of the sofa.
So.
Damn, they didn't do no better decorating their house after 6 months. Let me shut up. I ain't like my.
Yes.
Okay. And where was Latasha?
On the opposite end.
About here?
Right.
Next to these other chairs?
Yes.
That was like a bachelor pad. I don't know.
Brodus was not home yet, right?
Right.
He had gone to Pastor Pointer's to run an errand.
No, when he got
I'm
off.
sorry, Pastor Turner.
Right. Well, he got off work. He went to the cigar bar. And then from the cigar bar, he told me he had to go drop something off at Jason's house. So he went and dropped something off and then he came home.
He likes cigars.
Yes.
And Thursday nights he'd go to the cigar bar, right?
More than Thursday nights, but yeah.
But that was one of his nights,
Okay.
right? So you texted him when Latasha was there. Didn't tell him that she was there, but texted him and just said, "This is strange."
Yeah.
And you said that it seemed a little odd, but she was happy to be there, happy to be talking to you.
Yes.
Up to this point on April the 4th of 2019, Brodus had never told you that he ventured outside of your marriage, had he?
No.
And you had never sanctioned that?
No.
He never told you that he had been involved in a 2-year relationship with Latasha?
No.
He never told you that y'all would be sister wives?
No.
He never told you that he promised Latasha that he would tell you?
No.
Did he tell you that he saw Latasha earlier that night before she came to your apartment?
He did not.
Did he tell you after he got there that he had seen Latasha earlier that night at the cigar lounge?
No.
He acted like he had no idea she was even in town when he walked in that door, right?
Correct.
And if he had seen her at that cigar lounge earlier that night, that would not have been true. Right?
Correct.
I want to talk to you about while you and Latasha were talking, okay?
Mhm.
She never threatened you, right?
No.
Was never cross with you.
No.
And she engaged with you cordially.
Yes.
Seemed genuinely happy to be there.
Yes.
Now I want to talk to you about when Brodus arrived home, okay? Can you describe his demeanor when he walked in?
Agitated.
Did he immediately come in and offer the bourbon?
No, not immediately.
Okay. When did that happen?
I would say once he kind of settled in, he had bags, he had things with him, so he set those down, told me that he brought me these aminos. You know, he made the statement about this is an uninvited guest. And then I think that's when he started saying, you know, what are you doing here? Where are you staying? That whole bit. And at some point around there is when he offered, does anybody want a drink?
After he made the drinks, he also sat down, right?
Yes.
And when we're looking at Exhibit 2, Brodus sat in this chair.
I can't remember which chair he sat in, to be honest.
That's okay.
One of those chairs.
And while he was seated in one of these chairs, Latasha was still seated here.
Yes.
Were you still seated over here?
Yes.
Brodus made himself a drink.
Yes.
And he made Latasha a drink.
I'ma just say this. They don't make church women like they used to. You know what I'm saying? Now, this was a former pastor wife. She probably got a deacon or something now. She ain't got no good bra on or no nipple pads under that thing. She ain't got a girdle on. She ain't got no pantyhose on. You know what I'm saying? They just don't make church women like they used to. I'ma just put that on the record. They just don't.
Right. And you didn't want a drink.
Right.
You had some champagne earlier in the night, and you were done.
Fine. Yes.
When Brodus was talking to Latasha about, you know, why she was here, what she was doing, he was kind of making small talk with her, right?
It was, I guess you can call it that. It was like badgering almost. Yeah.
He still seemed agitated.
Yeah.
At some point, did you notice that he kind of stopped talking to Latasha when we started engaging with you?
I didn't.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a transcript of her statement. I previously provided a copy to the state, but I have a bound copy providing ease of reference. Could you look at page 8 for me? Lines 8 through 17.
Okay.
And just read those for me and let me know.
What line is 18? I'm sorry. It's not numbered.
May I approach? Yes, it should be. It's just hard to see. Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here because there's really nothing else that she's talking about right now. When she reading that, it's just to get her to say that that they just trying to get her to say that she heard the woman say when the woman was shooting the man after she shot him, and she said why, she was saying because he broke my heart, and that's why they named this the broken heart trial murder. You know what I'm saying? That's why they named it this. But it's not too much from that. It's nothing else to be gained from this her testimony, you know, except for the fact that she didn't know nothing about it. She never discussed open marriage with her husband. He was a liar, and that's it. You know, then they're gonna let her off the stand, right? Because we've been here 2 hours. Well, I guess I can let me play a little bit more in case I missed something now. No, let me see. Yeah, because there's how many more minutes is it? 15. Now we can end it right there because that's what I wanted. That's the talking points I wanted to give. And then what I'm going to do is, in case anybody wanted to add anything, which you don't have to, but if you wanted to add something, you can definitely hit the link and let me know what you're thinking. And what I'm going to do is, you know, she was found guilty. The trial ended last week. So spoiler alert, right? They have a playlist on Court TV. Now, what I'm going to bring back, since we already opened this can of worms, is that I'm going to keep watching the trial. And what I saw on this was first day right here. They started out right out the gate. First trial, no bullshit. They started right out with the gusto, right? The second day of the trial wasn't nothing but the officers who was at the crime at the site at the crime scene, and the medical examiner. Okay, but we already know he got shot. We already know who shot him. Okay, so no need to watch that part. Now, what I'm gonna be watching tonight and tomorrow is day 3. The trial is over, but I'm gonna go ahead and watch it for us. And baby, if I all the good juicy pieces and the people, the character witnesses, and other preachers and stuff, that's what we're gonna watch next time I come on here. Okay. If there's no other good witnesses, no other good juicy stuff, and no other good talking points, then I'll come back tomorrow night and I'll bring the closing arguments. And no, she gonna testify. She gonna testify. So tomorrow, if there's no other witnesses for the state, that's some stuff that we need to hear, I will be bringing y'all her testimony. Okay. That's what we want to see. Exactly, Fedora. I want to see if they're going to bring up some other preachers and some church members. If they bring up some preachers and church members, okay, I will be bringing that to y'all so we can sit here and listen and be nosy and messy, okay? And then we definitely want to hear her testify. She took the stand and testified. I have not watched it yet. But that's what I'm gonna be doing, my little stuff and getting that ready. So I definitely want to just thank y'all for coming through and listening to my spiel on this. It looked like y'all might have found it just as interesting as me, because it just got it's sex, lies, and what else? And the Lord. What a hell of a mix. And you know what I thought about when I was listening here? I was thinking to myself too. I say, when he was doing all that line about the wife knew this and the wife said that and the wife said that, I feel like I was wondering to myself, why does he find it so necessary to lie so much on his wife? Why don't he just want to have an affair with women who down with just having an affair? It's plenty of women that's just down to having an affair. Well, why not just go that direction? Is it the thrill of the chase? Is it the thrill of being such a manipulator? Why do a lie and have a storyline that includes your wife? Because if you pushing this whole thing about open marriage and you have the wife's permission, wouldn't the women who you talking to want to hear your wife say that? I would. If my whole thing is I'm okay with dating a married man as long as it's an open relationship and it's the what they call it, the ethical non-monogamy, whatever the hell he trying to sell, wouldn't that mean that I would want to be assured that you're not just selling me a bunch of bullshit and that the wife is actually a part of it? So why even make that part of your stuff? I don't get that. Okay, make sure that I set up the time so I can get notified. Okay, you want me to make sure I schedule it? I will. Shady Pastors. I know. Yes, this is a good one. And y'all know right now they doing a trial that's going on right now. Current the beheading trial, and that's all about this woman. She unalived the man because she wanted to sleep with her son. Child, but I'll wait till it's over so I can catch it all and do it. It's the thrill and thinking you're gonna get away with something. Yeah, but wouldn't that be with just regular cheating? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Oh, it was like he was low-key asking for someone to tell it. Hell yeah, doing all that kind of stuff. Good night, foot soldier. She don't suck up, do dishes, clean, or cook. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Fedora. Who don't do none of them things? You know? Yeah, right, exactly. He threw the wife in his storyline excessively, like too much. And then it's you know what really offended me was the lack of respect for his wife, right? And I'm not just talking about with the cheating. I'm going further than that. Why you got all these different ass women and stuff knowing your wife's name? Discussing your wife like they know her. You know what I'm saying? Because if he talking to the women saying Tabitha this and Tabitha that, that mean the women saying and Tabitha did and did Tabitha. You know what I'm saying? That is just so disrespectful. Oh my goodness, you know. But anywho, y'all, the wife never does. That's the excuse. Okay. Oh, that what y'all saying? That's what he telling the women and shit like that. He wanted to continue justifying himself with his lies. With his lies. Well, yeah. And then I guess at one point in time he really was, I guess by him giving her that book, because he gave the wife the book, The Ethical Slut. He gave her the book. So I guess if he would have had it his way, he wouldn't have had to do all this sneaking and lying and shit if she would have just read the book and got down with the goddamn program. I'm pretty sure that's probably one of his rationale in his mind. Well, goddamn, I gave her the book. I tried to get her on board. It ain't my fault she wouldn't get on board. It's her fault. This man was a man manipulator, and he thought he was the smartest one in the room. Yeah, until she walked in with that powwow in the room. Okay, makes me wonder who his parents were and what they were like and how they feel now, huh? Well, I'm gonna go when I get off here. I'm gonna go Google up some stuff. So tomorrow I'll make sure I schedule it. And thank y'all for joining me. This has been a good night, y'all. I'm not gonna hold y'all very longer, but I will make sure I set this up to schedule it. And if you want to go ahead and check it out, it's on Court TV. And on Court TV, they actually have a playlist. It's called The Broken Heart Trial. Okay? So until we meet again, this has been wonderful. I miss y'all so much, and I miss this type of content so much. So good night, everybody.